Hello everyone, welcome to our channel once again. Please leave a like on this video and subscribe to our channel for more updates, and also leave a comment to express your thoughts on this. President Muhammadu Buhari has congratulated Bola Tinubu, the candidate of the All Progressive Congress, for winning the 2023 presidential election. The outgoing President Buhari spoke through a statement by his media aide Garba Shehu on Wednesday morning. According to Buhari, I congratulate His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu on his victory. Elected by the people, he is the best person for the job. I shall now work with him and his team to ensure an orderly handover of power. Buhari said for a region that has undergone backsliding and military coup in recent years, this election demonstrates democracy's continued relevance and capability to deliver for the people it serves. He said within Nigeria, the results reveal democracy's ripening in our country. Never has the electoral map shifted so drastically in one cycle. In the presidential election, states in all regions across the nation changed color. Some amongst you may have noticed my home state amongst them. The winning candidate did not carry his own home state either. That happens during a competitive election. Votes and those that cast them cannot be taken for granted. Each must be earned. Buhari went further to state that competition was good for democracy, adding that there is no doubt the people's decision has been rendered in the results we look at today. He admitted that that was not to say the exercise was without fail. In his words, for instance, there were technical problems with electronic transmission of the results. Of course, there will be areas that need work to bring further transparency and credibility to the voting procedure. He said none of the issues registered represent a challenge to the freeness and fairness of the elections. He said he knows some politicians and candidates may not agree with this view, and that too is fine. That if any candidate believes they can prove the fraud they claim is committed against them, then bring forward the evidence. If they cannot, then we must conclude that the election was indeed the people's will. No matter how hard that may be for the losers to accept, if they feel the need to challenge, please take it to the courts, not to the streets. It tasked the losers. Buhari therefore warned that to go contrary to this path means they are not doing it in the interest of the people, but rather to inflame, to put people in harm's way and call for personal selfish gains. He also advised all contenders in just concluded elections, saying after a decree of polarization that necessarily accompanies any election, it is now time to come together and act responsibly. He called on all candidates to remember the peace pledge they signed just days before the election, and they should not undermine the credibility of INEC. So let us now move forward as one. The people have spoken, he said. Recall that Buhari had on Saturday in Daura, while voting, displayed his ballot papers publicly for all to see who he voted in favor of. A few minutes later, his actions had generated widespread controversies within the polity, as many Nigerians were divided on whether he violated the Electoral Act or not. Garba Shehu would later in a statement absorb his principle of such violations, saying Buhari merely displayed his ballot papers as a rare mark of loyalty to his party and his preferred candidate. Tinubu later lost Katsina State to the opposition, the People's Democratic Party.
Wow, it is no longer a news that the long-awaited, presidential election has come and gone, and some people are jubilating, while some are nursing their wound, like surprise of what happened. The president, Muhammad Buhari, has congratulated the winner of the 2023 presidential election, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the presidential flag bearer of the All Progressive Congress, who happened to be, you know, uh, uh, Muhammad Buhari, Bola Ahmed Tinubu happened to be the flag bearer of his political party. And one of the things he said in his congratulation letter, addressed, he warned the opposition party concerning violence, taking their concerning violence, and he has also urged them to take their grievances to court. And President Mohammed Buhari has pointed out that the election is free and fair and credible, despite the fact that they have some technical issues. And To him, he has done his best as a president, and he believed that the election, the best man has been elected. To do the best man to do the job has been elected, and he has urged all aggrieved presidential candidates to take their grievance to court and not to the street. Now, it's no longer in news that this election was characterized with, electoral malpractices, and in fact, it is termed as the worst, the worst electoral fraud in the history of mankind. But what can we say? Even when the agents of party and party leaderships were pointing out errors to the electoral body, they ignored it and said, after they conclude the process, you can go to court. We know the country where we are, where people have no trust in the judiciary system, and not to talk about when you are talking about this kind of electoral case. I think I don't. It's just like one or two African countries that has been able to their judiciary has been able to settle discourse in this electoral federal presidential electoral issues. But in Nigeria, over time they've taken elected president to court, but it has never come out negative. It has always been positive in the side of the elected president. And when you hear people say go to court, they know what it is. We know the process of our court here. We know that our justice are as corrupt as politicians. I am bold to say that our justice they are as corrupt as our politicians. So if if you want to depend on the court to get justice, you might likely wait to eternity in this kind of case. That is exactly the way it is. But what can we say? This is the way it is. The president has congratulated the president-elect, and the president-elect has given his acceptance speech. As day goes by, everything begins to die down. But, like I said earlier on this forum, if you get to power through fraudulent activity, you also want to stay in power through fraudulent activity. That is just it. You can't sow your hand. You can't come on a faulty foundation and think that you can repair it when you get to power. It's not possible. If you have gotten to power through faulty, fraudulent activity, you have to remain in power through fraudulent activity. That is just my case, my take. I would like you to feel free to comment. Let's know your thoughts concerning this, and also subscribe to our channels for updates on this and more to come. Thank you.